Okay, I guess we're talking about Carmelo Anthony. So let's just get right into it. So after a horrible NBA season by not just Carmelo Anthony, but the whole Lakers organization, where most of you know the Lakers finished out of the playoffs, and where Melo plays 69 games and only averaged 13 points a game, it seemed to be a repeat of what we've been seeing from Melo since he left New York for OKC 5 years ago. And I say all that not as if it's a bad thing. It's just the steady decline of one of the greatest basketball players ever. Melo's a Hall of Famer in my book. But with that being said, I asked the question, what's next for Carmelo Anthony? Well, it's crazy how things changed. Only a few years ago, Melo was one of the best players in the whole world. Now, some say Melo has gotten lazy, but truthfully, that's not correct. With Melo getting older in age and less productive year after year, things change. Over the past couple years, he's taken the backseat to every team he's been with since he left New York, which is a role he knew he was signing up for. Now, we've seen it was a period of time where Melo wasn't even in the NBA. He was at home waiting for a phone call from any NBA team. That also brings me back to the question, what's next for Melo? With him probably not returning to the Lakers next season, cough cough, I don't blame him if he leaves. They probably won't sign him anyway, as the Lakers look to add additional players so a repeat of last season doesn't happen. Now, there have been reports that Melo would like to continue his career next season with the Boston Celtics or head down south to South Beach and join the Miami Heat, which, by the way, I think he'll be a perfect fit for either of those teams, where he can continue to come off the bench and give you decent minutes and still hover around those 13 points per game like he's been doing the past few seasons or so. But at the end of the day, Melo only has a few more seasons left, and Melo has stated recently that he's not really ring chasing. I think that's something on his mind though. So, to answer your question, what's next for the great Carmelo Anthony? I don't know. Only time can tell. But for now, we'll just have to appreciate him while he's here, still hooping and getting buckets. Because as I previously stated, Melo only has a few good years left in him. Because there is a world where an NBA team doesn't even think to sign him, and time is slowly running out if he wants to win a ring. And I think Melo knows that. Even with him being on the Lakers with LeBron, doesn't necessarily guarantee you an NBA championship anymore. So him wanting to play for the young, dominant Celtics or the heavy-hitting Miami Heat isn't a bad thing, in my opinion, as those two teams have been consistently two of the best teams out east and in the entire NBA. Because any day now we could get a report that Melo has decided to retire, and that's the end of that for Melo. But I have hope we'll see him next season. Because remember, going into the next NBA season, this would be Melo's 20th NBA season, and not many players throughout NBA history have played 20 or more seasons. The list is short. Can you guess who's on that list? Well, let me give you some of the few names. You have the likes of Vince Carter, KG, Dirk, Kareem, and Kobe. And joining that list next year would be the likes of Melo, LeBron, and Udonis Haslem. So as you can tell, playing 20 NBA seasons is no easy thing to do. And for a player to be going into his 20th NBA season and still be a decent role player goes to show you how great Carmelo really is. Now, I'm not saying whatever team he goes to is going to win an NBA championship, but I think Melo can help just a little. And even if Melo doesn't end up winning a ring, that doesn't take away from his Hall of Fame resume. Just go and take a look at it. He's a 10-time All-Star, he's been on a couple All-NBA teams, and he has a scoring title. And he has some gold and bronze medals he's won over the years. Melo is by far a first ballot Hall of Famer, with or without the ring. And did I mention he's on the NBA 75 list? Along with some of the best players to ever touch a basketball, that should be more than enough for you to understand Melo's NBA career as a whole, as he's been by far one of the best players the game has ever seen. Now, it's only a matter of time before we get a report that Melo has signed with some team, or because like I said, I doubt the Lakers are going to re-sign him, and I doubt he even wants to play for the Lakers after everything that happened this season. It was just such a mess, a lot of drama going on, but one thing that stayed consistently was Melo was there to play. Like I said, Melo averaged 13 points a game on a struggling Lakers team, which no one thought would struggle, having players like Russell Westbrook, another Hall of Fame player, and obviously LeBron James. Nobody thought the Lakers would be this bad, and people thought them picking up Melo was the extra firepower that they really needed. But who knows where Melo goes? I'm hoping it's, like I said, I'm hoping it's either the Lakers or the Heat. But it's only a matter of time that we get a report that either Melo has decided to retire or continue his career. And hopefully, when he does decide to end his crazy NBA career, he decides to go back to Denver or New York to, end his career. But for now, we just have to enjoy the game of basketball. We have to enjoy Melo's last season or two. Because like I said, not many players have played 20 or so seasons. Next year, Melo's going to be one of those players, and I'm just hoping that he's able to stay consistently because we love Melo. Alright, if you enjoyed it, as always, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm going to catch you next video.